Hello everybody, I'm Julia Cordova. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel and liking my videos. I super appreciate it. So first of all, I just wanted to say I had a few people reach out to me last week and tell me they just appreciated me in the videos, and I really do thank you for that. It means a lot to me. I don't make almost anything off of these videos. For some reason, y'all don't click on those ads. That's okay. I understand. But anyway, I just do this mostly out of a labor of love and also just to keep myself straight so that I know what I'm doing and I make sure that I'm planning for the week. So with that said, last week I thought it would be a green week for the indices, and I was right about that. Yay. But I also was looking for a pullback in oil, and generally speaking, even though I thought it would go down last week, that was really my strategy, is to look for pops to short, which I actually did. So I'm trying to swing trade there. We'll talk about that when we get to the oil chart. Now for this week, I believe, again, we're going to have all of the indices green, and it could potentially be a ripper up of a week. So I will show you on the charts what I'm looking for and how I'm going to tell if that's going to happen or not, or what I'm thinking at various levels. And so with that said, let's talk charts. You ready? Whoop. All right. Okay. So quick. So this is the yearly so far. We're just a couple of days into February, and you can see where we are. Wow, that's quite a range compared to last year and a month and a couple of days, right? That's volatility right there. So as far as the monthly goes, we're above the 4415, which I said would be the okay level. And I said above this MA is better. And what do you know? Right now, at this very second, we're on the MA, and the MA is 4490.5-ish. Okay, so now let's look at the weekly. Okay, so when we started to get up in this area, I said it wasn't a bad place to take profits. And then we came all the way back down, right? But then we came up again. So yay. This is a generally speaking bullish close. Is it the most bullish thing that possibly could have happened? I kind of think yeah. Because it's not, I think they wanted to keep the uncertainty in there just so that we, they don't like everybody to be comfortable and happy. They want to keep everybody engaged, all the bears and all the bulls, as long as they can before they rip faces off or down, whatever it is. So anyway, I think that if we can hold above this 4468.75 area and quickly then get above this 4521 area, there is a potential of a little bit of a face ripper happening this week. That's what I'm thinking. However, if it starts to go down, I'm looking at this 4380 level to be a good area to be buy the effing dip if you're so inclined for that. The buy or die level, meaning if it comes back down and looks like it's gonna test these lows, this week is 4252.25. That's a double intersection. Super duper important that it holds. It would also be a higher low. And then, of course, the next level back down here would be the 4183. But that's what I'm thinking for this week. So hopefully we just giddy up from the get-go, actually. But we'll see. Drama is never... drama sometimes happens when you're not expecting it, so we'll see. And then this upper pivot is the moon at 4657.75, and you can see that we are now on the weekly above the 50 MA. Sure, it looks like bears would say that we backed us, the 20 went down, and that is accurate. So we still need to be on our toes at this time, but let's see what happens. And let's see, on the daily though, look at this. We're starting to get the curl. on that 9 MA, and we're still below the 20. So again, not out of the woods yet, but it's looking constructive. And I had talked about on Twitter, maybe a inverse head and shoulders, possibly on the hourly. So we'll see how that goes. Now let's look at NQ. Okay, not quite as good looking on the weekly as ES was, because we're below that MA. However, it's done what it needed to do to not look dire. Now, it doesn't look good, but it doesn't look dire. So these are the levels I'm watching for NQ this week. I have mostly been trading in ES, but I do sometimes do the NQ when I'm feeling a little more confident, because it's a little more twitchy. It's like silver versus gold, if you know what I'm saying. It's like natural gas versus oil. It's something, okay? But anyway, if we can close above 1492.6 this week, that is going to look even though that's not above this next MA at this time, it's going to look very constructive. So that's what I'm looking for on the bull side. However, if we do not do that, it's not going to look that great. And again, we can come down and test these lows. The key is to hold this level if we get there. Now, I went ahead and drew in a new line, who dis? And this is the, if you are bullish, if you believe that we're going to overcome all of this drama, and we get down here, the level to buy, that, well, I should say the good risk reward level to buy is 13,822 on the daily. See, that's, you know, that's right under there, you know, and that's for today, by the way, Sunday/Monday. So it goes up every day. So really it's this level, 13,837. Okay, unless it happens early in the week. All right, now look at small caps, RTY. Okay, so, you know, we did what we needed to do. How good is this though? Seriously. Anyway, you know, it's kind of like that movie. So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah, I'm telling you there's a chance that as long as we stay above this 1947 area, it's possible that we head back up. But it's looking the most dire out of all of the indices, I think, at this time. So let's see. But generally speaking, you know, it had every reason to die and hasn't died yet. So there's that. All right, now let's look at Tesla. Okay, so we bought on this line here, we got a fakey breaky and then whoop-a-doop up. So now, as of Monday, I'm looking for 864.06 to hold. If it holds, yay. If it doesn't, then we can start getting a little concerned. So that's also, I'm looking at Tesla and I'm also looking at ARK to see whether or not, you know, what I think is going to happen. Now, it would have been the most ideal, most bullish close if it closed above this pink line, pink and yellow line. Actually, they kind of intersected there. Well, they're, you know, they're together now for a while. But anyway, it would have been the best case possible. It would have been, you know, looking so much more bullish than it does. But at this point, is it bullish? No, because it's below these things. But does it look like it might be turning around? Yes. Here's why. Look, I talked about the volume candle last week. Wow, right? That was a good indicator. Yay, Julia. And then for this week though, for this last week, I look at the volume and I'm like, wow, that's a pretty big volume candle as well compared to all these. Do you think that all of a sudden all the big guys started to short right here? I mean, after this, do you think that that's what's happening? Do you think that's why the volume candle is? The answer would be, I don't think so. That doesn't make sense. Okay. Yeah, so I think they're buying still. I think they're accumulating. Now, I could be wrong, absolutely. And certainly below the low of this candle, it's you know, maybe the market's going to poop and maybe that'll happen and that'll be the time to get, at least reduce, right? There's such a thing as if you're in a bad situation and you don't want to sell because you have FOMO because you think, oh no, it's going to go up the second I sell. You might want to give a little bit to the market gods and just sell a little bit, see what happens. You know what I mean? Because it might go up and then you can buy it back. You can buy it back higher. It'll be okay. There's a lot of potential here. If it goes up, it's going to go way up. If it goes down, you know, it could go to zero, right? We don't know. But that's what my strategy is. Okay, now let's look at Bitcoin. Not a lot to say. I said last week above the ambulance, good. And this is the next resistance, 44,300. Above that, very good. Maybe it'll do a little inverse head and shoulders action, right? Maybe it'll go with the market that way. Let's see. All right, now let's look at Ethereum. Okay, this is a little bit better. We're going to have better pivots here. I kind of made a mini key here because I had talked about the same thing above this pink line. Good. Now, this blue line is the good line. So above 2960, yay. Okay, above 3028, that is a breakout. Okay, and then down here, the next level of support, if it comes back down, is about the 27,990 area. Okay, now let's look at, oh, that's the same as Tesla, sorry. Okay, now let's look at Doge. Okay, so Doge, I think, is still the most, it's the crypto with the most potential, okay? We're right above, we're getting above those MAs. Those MAs are just starting to curl up. I was watching the Olympics. I was like, oh, they're curling. Like, just like my MAs on my Doge. Curl up. Anyway, okay. I'm being a goober. Anyway, okay. So really what we're hoping for is we're hoping for price action to get once more above these MAs. And after it can get above both the MAs and this orange line, I think we're going to start to see some super action But the interesting thing is we're getting these spikes that we've had before a gajillion times, but they're much closer together than they've ever been before. And there's not as much dire price action after these spikes. Okay, a little bit, but not too much. So what I'm seeing is spikes closer together and then less selling off after that. Now, is it bullish yet? Well, depending on, I'm down on it, right? But I'm hodling, I am buying dips and then selling what I bought, sort of just trading around that core position. If it gets higher than that, that is my strategy. But this is looking constructive on an RSI, from an RSI perspective. And okay, let me just put in a new line here because y'all know how I love my lines. Here we go. Okay, yeah. So there's not a lot of resistance coming up here. And probably this resistance will coincide with this line. That's, yeah, funny how those things work, but I bet you that's true. Okay, so anyway, let's see how it reacts if it gets up here, and we'll go from there. Okay, now let's look at GDX. Gold miners was actually pretty freaking strong last week. Now, I talked about last week the fact that it formed a triple bottom, not a bottom, and that's true, but it doesn't necessarily mean it gets below here. Triple bottom is not a bottom. It just means that you can't say that that's a bottom. That means that it's support. However, if it gets below these, these recent bottoms, which is 28.89-ish, then it's going to look dire. And I mean, most likely it's going to come all the way down here. Still, I believe that. I hope it doesn't happen, but it's possible. So I'm mentally preparing myself for that, just in case I have to cut and then add back. But hopefully that won't happen. And oh, I was going to say, okay, so no. I don't know why I did that. Okay. So last week it bounced. Oh, that's why I was trying to do that. Last week it bounced right down from this line, which of course I did not label because I'm useless sometimes. I'm useless. But as long as I'd like to see us close the week sort of in this area, and then that would be very bullish. However, like I said, below here, bad. But in this area, very bullish. The key, okay, we're getting somewhere is still 31.27. Not a lot to say there. But here's why I think that we might be going somewhere this week, because look at this gold candle. Now, is it the most bullish candle we've ever seen? No, it's not. It's decent though, but it was bullish compared to the indices. So that's another reason that makes me think the indices might not poop this next week. They might go up because gold is holding up. And if gold holds up when the indices are like, maybe gold will go up even more. So I do think that we're going to close higher in gold this week. Sometimes I don't want to say anything because it feels like the second I say something, it goes down. I mean, I might as well just even fade myself, but I think it's good. Okay, let's look at silver. Now, I was at a friend's house. I went to a party yesterday, and I was a little on the wine when I said it was going to 60, but I do think it's going to 60. I do. This is not the most bullish candle from last week. We are below the MAs, but this still looks to me like bend and snap. We've got a double bottom here. We've got now, we're holding the recent lows. So it looks to me like as long as it holds the lows from last week now, that it will start the upwards process. Look at the curling that's starting to happen here. It's flattening out. It's flattening out. It's not going down anymore-ish, and it's starting to do the thing. So we just want it to continue to do the thing, okay? But these are the levels I'm looking at. I am long silver and long gold right now, so I just hope it goes up because I believe in it. I do. And also, it's super not expensive compared to everything else. Talking about expensive things, let's look at oil. Okay, oops, Control Z. Okay, so I have been trying to short this for 2 weeks, and I tried to do it in a scalpy way 2 weeks ago where I just kept buying. And then my plan was a couple weeks ago, like I said, if it got here, then I was going to double it, but it never got there. And anyway, I just keep closing out. Except for this week. This past week, I did not. So I took the short when we got to my level here, and then it kept going, and then I took another, and then I took the profit off of this. Because I am still short oil, but not in a leveraged way, in just a normal way. So this is not a bearish looking candle at this time. But I thought it was pretty good risk reward. from these levels, because if I look at XOP, which is the oil equity stocks, we have some potential, we have potentially a third point of bearish divergence. Now, why is it potential? Because it could keep going higher this week and negate this last this last point. We don't know yet. It's sort of stupid, because if you think about divergence, you can't really tell until after the fact. You can just sort of eyeball it and think to yourself, geez, you know what? This looks like it shot above my resistance, and geez, this looks like it might potentially be bearish compared to price action, which has gone up. And so this looks like a good opportunity. And so I deleveraged a little bit, but I'm still short oil, and I am still short oil equities at this point, even though it is above the 109.12, which I said was sort of the area to watch. So we'll have to see. Oh, excuse me, goodness Lord. Okay, so we'll have to see what happens, but yeah, I mean, my plan here is to, if it pops again, I might add to it again, and then I will take a sigh of relief when it gets back below what is now 91.16. However, if it continues to go up in a way that's going to make me sweat, then I will probably close out my position. But for now, I'm still feeling like it's really good risk reward, because we're also at RSI resistance. So it's like all the things are coming together. I don't know, but the most important thing to and I've talked about this before, because it's not like I haven't counter trended. The most important thing is to watch your size. Okay, when you're taking a trade like this, if I'm right about it going down, there will be a ton of room here. It will go down a lot and very fast. So there'll be a lot of room here, and a lot of people, you know, the right thing to do would be to wait until it gets below this 89.23 area, because that would be fakey breaky over this original price target that I had. So that would be the thing to do, is if it gets below 89.23, then, you know, then we've potentially got a bigger down move here. But who knows, right? Just control your size, control your risk. I don't know any more than anybody else. I just share with you what I do. All right, now let's look at Nate. Oh, so, okay, yeah. So, yeah, I took profit pretty close to the top here, and then I put in what I called a cheeky short, and yay, it went down. But so far, this is actually just a back test of the breakout. It looks terrible. It could be terrible. It might be. It's potentially terrible. I don't have a position on it this time. I closed my short, and so if it comes down here, I'm looking to try and buy it. If it, let's say it gaps down and then gets back, gaps down below here, which I would really hope so, and then gets above this 4.389, I look for an opportunity to buy it. And then if it gets all the way down here, I will attempt to, but if it, you know, with a tight stop there actually, and if it gets all the way down here, I'll try to buy it again, but then it's going to look a little bad below this 4.075 area. But if it gaps up, then, you know, that's great. If it gaps up, I'm not going to have a clue as to how to do this. So I'm not going to even tell you I would. But anyway, that's sort of my plan. Hopefully it comes down here and then goes up, and then I can just say, you know what? Okay, I'll take a swing on it. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. It's crazy. Let's look at coffee. Okay, so coffee looks like, and I moved one of these lines up here. Coffee looks like pretty much that it broke out, and then is back tested last week, and now is going up. This does not look toppy at all. This looks like it's got a lot of potential. A lot. It's only, the RSI is only at 68-ish. And so, you know, it hasn't even really begun to do anything here. And these are levels I'm watching though. I hope it goes down so I can buy more, but if it does, then the levels support are 62.73 and 59.41, and then 77.07 is resistance. Okay, that's it. Make myself big. Oops. Okay. Oops. I just still didn't do it. Thank you again so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel and liking my videos. I super appreciate it. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you on the interwebs. Okay, bye.